Hello YouTube, I know it's been a minute since my last figure review, but I'm here today with my first Warhammer action figure. Today we're taking a look at the Blood Angels Intercessors Space Marine by joytoy. Now, before we get into the figure, let's take a look at the box as usual. He comes in a very simple box, just a big black packaging with joytoy's logo on the top, and just a picture of him on the front with his name down there. And then the back of the box is just some promo shots, and they all look quite good. It has just some basic information there. There's really nothing on the bottom besides the Warhammer logo, the name over here on this side, and this side is just legal stuff. So all in all, the packaging's pretty simple, and there's also the plastic tray he comes in, which isn't too exciting. Now, I picked this guy up yesterday at a hobby shop, a local hobby shop. I saw him for about $35, and I just picked him up because I was really, really excited to get him. Or, well, my first proper Space Marine action figure. Now, he looks fantastic, by the way. His paint sculpt is amazing. Now, first, let's look at accessories. So, first up, he has a chainsword with him, which looks phenomenal. It's all black and silver, with some dry brushing on the handle and a little bit up here on the blade. The exhaust is painted a nice silver paint, and so is the handguard with a golden skull at the bottom of the grip, which just looks really, really nice. It's very lightweight, but it is thick and chunky, and I'm pretty sure it's not hollow. It has some detailing here with some silver paint, this rivet, or whatever that is. And the rest of it's black. The blades are silver, though. And it's really, really nice looking, and it does fit into his hand quite well. He can hold all of his weapons just fine. But besides the chainsword, he comes with a bolt pistol, a heavy bolt pistol, I believe, which is just all gray and black. And it looks fantastic as well. The ejection port is silver on both sides, with the sight block painted as silver on top, with the sides and back of it gray. And then the mag well in the trigger grouping area is all silver, with a very light black dry wash on it. It's barely noticeable that it has one. But it looks great. And something really, really cool about this is... Oh, come on. Oh, it's hard to get out. You can take the magazine out. And the magazine has some bullets painted on the side. On both sides, of course, and it looks fantastic. So, his pistol has a removable magazine, which is really, really badass. And it fits in the mag well just fine. It's not going anywhere. It's actually a pretty tight fit. But the bolt pistol looks amazing. And again, he can hold all of his weapons with no real issues. Completely fine. His hands are a softer plastic, so there's no real trouble getting him to hold his weapons. And besides the chainsword and the bolt pistol, I got it to stand up, you see that in the corner. He also has a heavy bolter with a strap on it. The strap doesn't really serve any purpose, so I've been considering cutting it off, but it looks good as is. Now, the heavy bolter, this is a very impressive looking piece for such a small gun. There are so many little bits of silver and gray and black and gold for the bullets, or the bolts inside of the magazine. It looks amazing. The rotator cuff on top of here, I don't know if that's what it's called, but in the game, or in the game Space Marine 2, this part of the barrel or the gun spins around while it's firing, so it's probably working like a revolver. But this heavy bolter looks lovely. The golden winged skull on the side, the barrel looks mean and hefty, with a, I guess a gas tube up here, and a model accurate bayonet lug down here. I don't know if there are bayonets for these weapons, for these figures, but it has a little attachment point right here under the barrel. that little gray bit. But the strap is a soft plastic. It can be unhooked from the front, but other than that, it's permanently affixed to the gun. And the strap is very soft plastic too. It's very squishy. And it hooks in pretty well. And it's also very lightweight. Again, just showing you. He can hold his weapons with no real problems at all. And it looks really, really good doing it. And technically speaking, he has one more weapon. Do you want to guess where it is? He has a functioning knife sheath for his knife. That is awesome. It actually works. So let me see if I can get the lighting on that. That is so sick. So, yeah, he has a working sheath for his knife. And the knife itself is just silver and black, but it looks amazing. It's slightly shiny, the blade is, and the handle doesn't look too bad either, even though it's just solid black. Now, I have been using this tight gripping hand on his left hand to hold the knife, but he doesn't really hold it super well facing up like that. It's very loose. So what I've been doing is I've been having him hold the knife backwards and just kind of jamming the blade into the finger and the thumbs. Or, well, no, it's been fitting into his pinky. So that way, he can hold his knife perfectly fine, looking like he's ready to go in for a kill. It's so badass looking. And that's not the last accessory he has, nowhere near it. I'm going to go over hands first as well. So he has a right side trigger finger hand that can hold his guns and his chainsword. He has this tight gripping hand for his left arm that can hold the knife, as I've showed you. He has a left hand loose hand, which is good for supporting the barrel of the heavy bolter. I've been putting it under this to get him into two-handed poses. He has a left trigger finger hand, same as the right one. A right side tight gripping hand as well, so these two are pretty much symmetrical. And a right side loose gripping hand, which I'm not totally sure what this is for. It might be specifically for the chainsword, but I'm not sure. The trigger finger hand works fine for the chainsword, but this might be more for it. And that's not everything he has. He has more accessories. So, first off, his backpack can be taken off, which has, so in the game, in the lore, the backpacks serve as, well, a backpack to hold stuff, and I believe they also contain the life support system for their suits, for the Space Marines. The backpack has moving exhausts so they can turn, which is very, very interesting. And it's just loaded in detail. Both of them can, by the way, rotate. The backpack itself, though, is phenomenal. It's just a nice stark red with a bunch of silver rivets, black lines down here and up here in the top. These gray vents on the bottom are all fantastically sculpted and look beautiful, with silver buttons and rivets on the sides as well. And then the front of it is just solid red with the pegs to fit into his back and this black painted mechanical detailing inside of it. So his backpack just alone looks awesome. And then he has more. If we turn him around, every single thing on him can be unhooked from his belt. So he has a book with the mark of the Blood Angels on it. I think that's what it is. I don't know the lore of the Blood Angels that well yet, but I am learning about them. But he has a tomb or a book on him, and these all peg into the belt with ball joints, by the way. They're very easy to take out and don't feel hard to remove or anything, so I'm not worried about breaking them. But the book looks fantastic. It's solid red, or black, solid black and white for the pages, black for the covers, with a red blood drop with a gold trim around it, with a white spine, and the little chain is silver. And the back of it is just flat black. It looks great. The knife sheath, as well, it's just on there with a ball joint, so I can pop it off. Yeah, that's the right way. So the knife sheath is just solid black and gold for the top and bottom. And again, ball joint here that plugs into his belt. And it has a very secure connection on the knife once you put it in all the way. It's not falling out easily. So it's safe in there. But the knife sheath looks good. It's very thick and sturdy. And then he has a removable holster. It is not functional as a holster, but it is there. And it's just solid black with some sculpted folds in it right here. You can see those, like, those are sculpted detailing, like the leather is folding a little bit. There's no gun grip modeled inside, which I kind of wish there was. A pouch over here on the front of it. And again, just a ball peg on the back. But it looks great. And then and then he has two on the front that I am assuming are religious symbols. I'm not positive. I don't know what either of these mean. This one is just a little teardrop in some sort of casing that's all gold with a silver plaque inside of it, silver duds around all sides of it, and it looks great. And then the last one is this teardrop, blood drop with a skull in it. These all look amazing. He's loaded with stuff. These may not like be the most fun accessories, but knowing Space Marines, these serve religious importance to them. But I don't know about them very well. Or don't know much about them very well. So this book, these little teardrop or blood drop things, I know these serve like religious importance to the Space Marines, or at least the Blood Angels, but I don't know what they mean. Now we can finally get into the Blood Angel intercessor himself. Now, paint and sculpt is damn wonderful looking. He's gorgeous to look at. He's a very deep dark red with lots of silver, black, and gray dry brushing all throughout his power armor. He looks nothing short of very professional and well done. I should mention, he's about 4 inches tall. These are not the biggest figures, but they're loaded with stuff. So he's about 4-ish inches tall. Now, give me just a moment. I have here a 6-inch tall Marvel Legends Spider-Man, and yeah, this is 6 inches tall, so that Space Marine is about 4. So, you know, there's a size comparison. But goodness gracious, the paint, the detailing, the sculpting on this guy is nothing short of gorgeous. Now, starting at his helmet specifically, the green for his eyes is amazing. The silver tubing around his mouth guard, the silver on each of his earpieces, absolutely divine looking. The black inside of his mask, oh, he looks amazing. There's nothing really interesting on the back of the head except for those 2 little dots right there. They are painted silver. And his neck is painted black. It's just kind of hard to see in there. At least angle it. I think you can see it there. But the neck is painted black. His shoulder pads. This right arm has a yellow blood drop on the side of it. And his right pauldron has this winged blood drop with a crest on the front of it that has that same symbol. So his pauldrons are his pauldrons are loaded with stuff. His chest has that winged skull on it, painted in a deep, deep charcoal black with little bits of silver dry brushing going upwards towards his collar. And it looks amazing. It's it's three-dimensional and very, very deeply sculpted. it's a very thick piece, as you can see there on his chest. His arms, his right arm's a little bit tricky, but his right knee has a skull on a black knee pad, whereas his left is just pure red. And his legs have so many little dots and crests on them. This silver rivet is repeated on both sides. These are on both sides. He is loaded with paint. There's so much shading going on in almost every single crevice of his suit. My lighting's not doing a good job at it, but if you can see this little bit of shading at the edge of his pauldron here, that's everywhere. Everywhere there's a surface or a ridge, he has that sort of dark shading everywhere. And he looks wonderful. 10 out of 10 for the paint sculpt. Now, his articulation is not half bad. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. His head can turn left and right. No problems with that. He can look up just a little bit and down, basically not at all. His arms can do a full 360. They can go out about that far. He has a bicep rotation. He has a bicep rotation. I was blocking the light, my bad. A double jointed elbow that doesn't really get that much range because of his shoulder pad, but it's still there. And his wrists are on a ball joint, so they can twist, turn, lift up and down, all you needed to do. Now, the reason I said his arm is tricky is because it really likes to slot out like that. They're intended to do that, but the left arm is much tighter and harder to pull out. So they're supposed to do that, but this one's very loose. Which, that's just my copy. I'm going to have to fix that myself, I think. So his arms are very functional, save for the... Oh, right. The pauldrons themselves, they are on their own little joint, so they can move independently of his upper arm, at least somewhat. They can spread out a little bit by themselves without moving the arm. Let's see, yeah. Yeah, you see what I mean. They can move up and down just a little bit, back and forth. They can turn as well. So if you want this pauldron to face forward more, you can do that. Or you can turn it away. His midsection is a bit limited. He can rock side to side just a tiny bit. He can twist and turn. Oh, turning this way is not very good, but turning that way, yeah, he wants to go that way. Huh. Okay, so his midsection is very limited, but not bad. He can kick forward very, very, very far. And he can kick back basically not at all, because his butt's in the way. He has a thigh rotation as well, which can go almost all the way around. He has a double jointed knee that can bend that far back. And he also has a pretty decent ankle rocker. He can turn his foot out inwards that far, and his foot can go outwards that far. His feet can kick forward that far, and back just a little bit. And interestingly enough, he does have a toe bend, which is a bit strange, but, you know, he has a toe bend. I don't really understand why, but he does. Now, besides that shoulder being a little bit finicky, he's perfect. I am going to give him an easy 10 out of 10, especially for the price point I got him at, $36. He's a damn steal. I am probably going to be getting more of these joytoy 40k figures in the future. I am probably going to get some Ultramarines or Salamanders if I can find them. But this guy specifically, the Blood Angel Intercessor, I recommend this guy 100%. He's cheap, and very, very packed with stuff that he comes with. Good articulation, good sculpt, good paint. This is an amazing action figure. An absolutely fantastic Warhammer figure. I genuinely cannot recommend this guy enough. I am personally going to have to fix that shoulder, but other than that, he's fine. No real problems. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, but I'm signing out. Peace. I hope y'all have a good one.